In this video, traders, let's look at, is Facebook in trouble? Stick around. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. All right, so I'm looking at the chart here now. Facebook got a little bit hit recently after the earnings. It's not really recovered yet. Hey, who knows? By the time you watch this video, it could have bounced right back. But let's just kind of look at the bigger picture here and see what's caused this and whether it could be in trouble or not. So the big thing is Facebook obviously earns its money from advertising revenue. A huge percentage of its revenue comes from serving ads. That's their business model, right? They've got your attention on Instagram, they've got your attention on Facebook, and they say, hey, while you're there, have you seen this ad? We've all seen the ads, we all know how it operates. But the issue is now there are things affecting that business model. There's a few headwinds coming out for Facebook, and this might change the valuation of the company. Now, the products, you know, they do a great job with Instagram, they do a great job with Facebook, into whether you're a user or not, they, you know, people are using it. The user base is growing. Fine, they seem to be innovative, etc. But there's other things that might be holding them back. The first one that's kind of come out is iOS 14 from Apple. Now, what is iOS 14? So it's an operating system version used on your Apple device. Actually, it's a mobile device with the iOS 14. So it's basically saying, okay, you now have the ability as an Apple user to allow companies to track you or not. So basically how it works is, I'm going to kind of roughly explain this in the best way I know how, bearing in mind I'm a trader and not an advertiser. When you go on a website, a little pixel is on that site and it basically says, hey, I'm from Facebook and I'm going to track you, and there's no personal information shared, but I'm going to basically say, hey, you've been on this website and you've got an interest in this. And so Facebook builds a kind of an idea of who you are as a person. So if you're watching this, they're going to say, hey, you're a trader, you like trading, you go on trading websites, maybe you go on crypto websites, maybe you go on FinViz, you go on TradingView, you go on this, you do that, and they start to build up a bit of a picture. And that picture, it basically puts you into an audience that someone wants to advertise something to traders and say, hey, I want to advertise this new software I've got to traders. You go on Facebook, you select people who are interested in day trading, you will have that pixel attached to you, and so they'll serve you that ad. Now, there's other companies as well that if you go on their website and you then come back off and go on Facebook, you're targeted with this pixel again that basically says, hey, you've been on this website, we're going to target you with an ad on Facebook. And you know, that works well, and that makes sense because it's targeting people who already had an interest in the product. Like, hey, put the pixel on there. If you've come onto it, but you've got distracted, you've changed your mind, I'm like, hey, go and check it out. I'll be on Facebook saying, hey, go and check it out, go and check it out. You know, if you missed out, you know, I want you to see if it's right for you. If it's not, it's not, but come and try us out. Come and get try the 30-day, use the 30-day money back guarantee. Whatever, you get the point. The thing is, Apple now is basically allowing the user to opt out of that. So all of a sudden advertisers are going, oh, we can't track who we want. Now, I'm not sure whether it's the whole audience and whether that stuff still applies, but the individual tracking pixel does apply. So all of a sudden now, what used to be lucrative for advertisers is not available, especially for Apple users. And that's a big chunk of people. So all of a sudden, the advertiser revenue drops because, of course, people who are spending big money on ads, that ain't going to be small businesses, big businesses who are spending hundreds of thousands and thousands every week on ads, they're not seeing the results. We'll just scale it back and they'll just divert it elsewhere. So Facebook's starting to kind of feel this a little bit. They're doing things to combat it, trying to get around it, but still, there seems to be a big trend towards privacy, towards data protection, because in the day, you know, Facebook pretty much ran with what they could. And, you know, they're a business, right? They said, okay, we don't want to reveal individual privacy, but this person likes fast cars, he likes trading, he likes bikini models, he likes this, he likes that, for example. And they wouldn't identify it as you, they'd just say, hey, well, we can serve ads related to that. And, you know, demographic-based advertising was what they were running with. But now there's a bit more of a pushback from it. There's a bit more of a pushback. So iOS 14 has come along and stopped this, or throttled it back, not stopped it. Ad revenue, you know, it's precarious. You know, you think, okay, if that trend, and this is just a start, by the way, if other phone manufacturers or if other laptops and other devices start to say, hey, the default setting is you're not being tracked, you can just opt out of this type of thing, then, and people are doing that, that's going to hit them hard. So ad revenue, big percentage, if they can't figure out a way to display ads, it's not going to kill it completely, of course not, because they'll still be able to roughly work out who to send it to based on, you know, if you're on Facebook and you're putting all this stuff, they work out what you are anyway without having to track you. And you're the customer, basically, or you're the product, should I say. So it's still going to be okay, but it's going to diminish the revenue massively. And then you've got this whistleblower case going on. I've not been following it, but I hear there's a lot of internal stuff going on now. What's the truth in it or not, I don't know. Like I say, not been following. I just heard snippets of stuff that's gone on internally that doesn't show them in a very good light. And I know that all companies to a certain extent have internal challenges and, you know, maybe they don't do everything they should quite right all the time, but who knows where this goes. That could, you know, that could blow up into something, especially if it turns out to some sort of more of an investigation with the authorities, and the authorities then put in some sort of law or some sort of something in place to stop something happening that affects their revenue. That could be interesting. Then you've got the user base. Now, this is me hypothesizing and speculating, guys. I'm not a big Facebook user at all, but I just wonder whether the demographic is slightly dissipating, or should I say the user base is slightly dissipating. I know the numbers showed that it had risen, but you know, is that a COVID thing? Is that a lockdown thing? Possibly. People going into the groups and what have you. But we've got a lot of social media platforms now that people are using. You've got Instagram, there's TikTok obviously, Snapchat to a lesser extent, Twitter, all this kind of stuff. And I wonder whether it's fragmenting and that's taking away from Facebook's user base. I know that Instagram is owned by Facebook, so that's a benefit to them, but there's others out there that obviously aren't. Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and we've got, you know, other ones that are cropping up from time to time. What's that one with the audio? Clubhouse. So, you know, I wonder if that's kind of splintering things off a little bit and the user base is changing. Right. Another one is regulation. You know, there was an article I was reading on here earlier that was basically saying, hey, do you know what? We've got some regulation coming in, and you know, some of the Senate or the US authorities, I don't know exactly which one, is saying, okay, we need to look in regulating these companies because the big tech seem to have a lot of control. They're silencing some people, not the others. And this is the other thing, guys. You know, seeing how they have handled the whole pandemic, big tech, you know, shows how much power they have. Their ability to silence one side and not the other, even when it's a genuine debate happening, is a little bit concerning. I think the governments have started to say, especially when all these things died down, and gone, okay, who are you to suddenly decide? It either has to be a free-for-all, but without, you know, some of the most toxic stuff. So people should say what they want within reason, as long as it's not crucially, you know, just hurting someone or racist or any of this other stuff. But there should be a bit of a debate about something, opposing sides, or, you know, it should be clear about how it's positioned. And so I think there's something going to happen here, and whether that will affect Facebook's revenue or not, I don't know, but it might just go, okay, hey, this is not quite, we're going to clamp down on this, we're going to stop this kind of engagement, we're not going to allow people to, you know, fuel to the fire. Because there's something that's saying that the angry emoji, or supposedly more valuable to the algorithm, was shown more than the like emoji because it creates emotion and people are likely to comment on it and stay on longer. And regulation might start to step in and go, hang on a second, you know, you're toying with people here, you're playing a big game, and we don't want you to play this game. This is the government's role, to play the big boy game. So you just do what you can do, and that might stop them. And the final thing is, you know, we heard about Donald Trump setting up his own social media. I know that who knows how big this is going to be or whatever, but the point is, he's saying, I think he called it Truth? No, you guys can correct me. But and that was the whole move with that SPAC, wasn't it, the other day, DWAC. The thing is, this is going to happen. You know, people are getting frustrated with Facebook. People are getting frustrated, I think. But you cut the chicken and egg, right? If you're on Facebook, you've probably got several hundred, several thousand friends on there. So you won't go elsewhere because you're kind of hooked into seeing what your friends are doing. But if you are not on Facebook, like, you know, I'm not on Facebook, any friends on there, I don't go on Facebook for that reason. I use it for kind of some groups and some bits and pieces, but I wouldn't care where else that appeared. But I think once people start moving, or if people started moving for a valid reason, then we could see something happening. I'm not saying decline of Facebook in any, massively in any way. I think they're probably here to stay, but this is the first time ever that we've had kind of a bit of a perfect storm of headwinds that they're gonna have to do something about. Don't forget, Mark Zuckerberg was talking about a rebrand, and generally speaking, you don't rebrand unless you wanna leave the kind of there's a reason for it, because it's expensive. You've got to do a lot of stuff. You've got to do the brand. You've got to change the brand. It's a lot of stuff, and you've got to be well worth it. So I'm just thinking, okay, is it in trouble? Is it going to cause some challenges for the stock? Who knows? Time will tell. But I like thinking about this stuff, and I guess you do because you're a trader as well. Take care. Let me know your thoughts on this one. See you in the next video. Bye bye.